Welcome back to the Berg podcast. Thanks for joining us today. With me today is Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And Ford.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're talking about new people and new work. And we've got plenty of both happening here at Berg Construction recently.
Welcome to the springtime, right? I mean, it's kind of like the energy's in the air. You drive around, you can actually put your window down, not freeze. And it's just every year it's about the same. And, you kind of ramp up a little bit for the summertime. And this morning, the safety call, 3 new names are called out, and I know there's some more in the pipeline, and it's just cool to see some new people joining the team to get the work done that's in front of us.
Yeah, and you come out of winter and you start to see, like with our inspection reports, and you start to see all of a sudden there's a lot of equipment running again. And it's a good feeling, because the only way you can be successful and have everybody working in the field is have the equipment going. But as you've said about a lot of different things, winter comes every year, and every year it's going to slow us down and impact us one way or another, whether it be with snow or just, conditions that we can't work in. But it is nice to be out there and working and getting everybody going, and also bringing on a bunch of new jobs. The new jobs are finally starting to go and start, and people are landing places to do, what we like, which is to get going in a new job and see what we can do. Yeah.
This isn't like a spring podcast, so to speak, but it is sort of like new spring growth cycle, right? Like we finally had a little bit of sunshine and everything's turning green, and the flowers are coming up, and April's still playing kind of some weather tricks on us, so to speak. I left my house this morning. It was like 33 degrees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be 60 and it's sunny, and in a lot of ways that is an indicator that we should be doing work, and we are, which is fun, because we had some snow this winter. We had a lot of rain in the late winter, early spring. When did spring
started to buy boards for an arc there for a while. That one week it was like, wow.
5 or 6 days in a row or something like that. Every day was like an inch.
It was crazy.
It was wet.
Well, and then, what's funny about, we say like spring, or whatever we want to say that we're starting, but really for us, there's like 3 seasons, I think. There's that start season where you're going to start whenever weather breaks and allows, and that usually triggers the jobs to go and people to want to work in terms of the owners and feeling like they can get everything going. And then you get to like midsummer and you have that same thing. Now you have it in a drier season, but you have it again where the jobs start again. Mm-hmm. And then you're trying to close everything out in that October, November window. And then basically it's just a waiting game to see what you can do, what work can be done until you make it back to March, April, May, whenever it is, based on the seasonal, impact.
It kind of is like a mostly wet, mostly dry, and then some variation of winter, like cold, not cold, snow, not snow. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, and every year you try and do more in the off season. I mean, one thing that is always so tough is that seasonality creates challenges for the team. Paychecks might be shorter for a couple weeks if they didn't get their hours in, but the weather's bad. So you're trying to find that continuity and that ability to do things. And every year you try and get as much done. And sometimes you just have to tap out and be like, give it a couple days and we'll come back to it. But now you're starting to get into the weather where it's like, okay, we can go. It's Saturday, I think it was. It was like nice and sunny and decent outside. And then the winds picked up and the sun went down. It was like a 25-degree change in that, this is the sweatshirt in your back of your truck weather where you have about 8 of them there, because every morning you grab one, you go out and it starts getting warmer, and then you don't take it in with you at the end of the day. And then until you run out of them and you realize you need to go back to your truck one morning with a t-shirt because all the warm gear is still in your truck.
Yeah. I did that this weekend. I had to make room for something in the back of my car and realized I had like 3 jackets, 4 sweatshirts. I had 4 jackets in my truck. I went to get something out of my truck. I had 4 jackets in my truck. Yeah.
It's like, okay, spring cleaning time, put them back where they're supposed to.
We're not quite there yet. I don't know. You might want to take them out. I'm not ready yet. I don't buy it. It was 33 this morning, and it could hopefully not much rain this week, but it could just open up and be an arc again. So
every once in a while I get fooled. I'm like, oh, and tonight I don't need long sleeves. Mara not quite there yet.
This week is a school trip for Mara where she actually goes away for 3 days and she stays at a camp. And so Erin said to her, she wanted her to go pack. And Mara will wear shorts anytime she's allowed. That's Mara. And Erin told her to pack 5 outfits. She packed like 3. There was assorted things she did not bring that one would consider, necessary more than what she actually did bring. But I was told she had 3 tank tops and 3 pairs of shorts and
Nice.
1 sweatshirt. It was white. She's going camping in the woods. White sweatshirt.
One
Tank
white
top,
sweatshirt,
flip flop, really nothing fancy.
She was ready to go. She thought that was appropriate. I was like, it's going to be 33 tomorrow morning, and you're going to sleep outside. I'd bring clothes if I were you.
Yeah,
but she does not. She does not keep the sweatshirts in the car.
it doesn't change. I coach high school boys,
Mhm.
and I'm like, look, we're allowed to be out here for 2.5 hours as long as it's above 30 degrees. And tonight it's 31. So, dress appropriately. And kids still show up in shorts and t-shirts. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. I can't dress you. Your parents didn't care. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny part is my little nephews this weekend we were away and with them and, noses are running and everything, but they're like, no, don't want to put a coat on. Don't want to put a coat on. It's like, I'm a grown up. I'm putting a coat on. This is too cold for me. And I got an extra warmth layer on. Come
Yeah.
on, my man. You need to put that on there.
Yeah.
But in a funny, when you're talking there, sometimes in the vehicle, but we were playing golf this weekend and it was really slow. And so we had to quit early. But these 2 50-plus ladies came up on behind us. And because we were waiting and waiting and waiting. So they played and caught up to us. And sometimes I'm always self-conscious of listening to music. I'm like, that's probably not my age appropriate music. They were 50-plus and Biggie was playing on the speaker in their,
Yeah.
that's like, all right.
That's where we are, Ford, isn't it?
I'm safe now, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's crazy. It's representing the older people here.
Well, yeah. I mean, you said 50 plus, but the thing you have to remember is the 50-year-olds are who was
Yeah.
listening to Biggie when
Yeah,
it was
that's-
popular.
I think you've forgotten how old Biggie would be right now.
Yeah. So this is a transitional thing. They're not finding Biggie. This has been.
It's been them the whole time.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it. I don't know if we did on the podcast. That I was driving home one day and I was working late. We had bid a couple projects and we were working late. And I was coming through Morgantown and I had the windows cracked just a little bit, so it must have been a warm day. So they were open a little, and I had on some loud Dan New Jersey rap, probably Biggie, and I saw a old gentleman crossing the street from McDonald's to his tractor trailer to get in the truck, and I almost turned it down because I didn't want to offend him coming through Morgantown. And I was like, now wait a minute. That gentleman might not actually be old. I have not adjusted my what old is yet.
What is old at this point? Yeah.
There's not a mirror looking at me, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Mentally think I'm 22. Physically,
Not so much.
Good luck.
Yeah. Well, that's even Brian's.
Physically,
gotta be
I'm
at this
worse.
point.
Physically, I think I'm worse than my age. I take that test Donaldson does every once in a while, and I'm like, here's your actual age. They should do a mental age one because that's probably the only one I'd be less
that
on.
way you can balance it out, a little
balance it.
young with a little older, and be like, okay, I'm actually my age here.
But my physical age is usually higher than my actual birthday age number, unfortunately. Yeah.
First time I did it was a big gap, and then the next year is it dropped in half. I'm like, oh, okay, so you just gotta do some of these things,
Right.
and get back to closer. Okay, we're good.
Some of it just takes a little effort.
Yeah.
I'm not always great at that, but
You got to make it a competition. And then,
competition I'm good at.
then
Yeah.
competition.
I'm good in extremes.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, but no, I was thinking about it with the sports thing when you said about the age thing. I was talking with Erin and I said at this point I'd have to be careful if I actually play Mara because her technical skills are enough to give me fits. I never played soccer, but she's at the point where now you're getting beat. If you try and play her, you're going to get beat. I'm still faster than she is. I'm bigger, but I can't actually play the game better. And I know you've certainly reached that point with the boys where you have no business.
All 3 of them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only advantage I have on Adeline is if it comes strength. All right. Strength is the only advantage I have.
You have to play the boys version of lacrosse against her.
I mean, yeah, all 3 of them are faster than me. All 3 of them are better athletes than I probably ever was. And and the strength is the only thing I have over her.
Yeah.
Because the boys are very strong.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Speaking of a sport that I just saw last night, I didn't realize this thing, but it'd be really fun. It's the soccer with the bumper soccer, whatever it's called.
Wait, what? What is this?
What, the indoor soccer with the boards?
No. It's out. Well, but this one was on Amazing Ratio, but they put the big bubbles on themselves.
Oh, the bubbles. Yes,
Oh.
I've seen this. Yeah.
And I was like, that's perfect. You can like go around and just start like, it's full contact soccer. I'm like, that sounds kind of fun.
All right, so now this I would not have brought this up, but he brought it up. So the girls have those bumper things.
Okay.
Natalie Jensen bought them for him as a present at the shore. We were all judged for allowing my kids to just demolish each other on the beach and laugh.
There's like a foot of airspace in there. They're all good.
It seemed like a great activity to me. The people around me did not agree. They thought they'd probably try to call child services.
They made the 1-800 call.
Yeah, they made an 800 call on me. But so the girls were out back and they found these things that I had hidden because it always ends in a fight. And so all three of them, first they were just in the yard, then the trampoline. But there's only 2 inflatables. So one person has to elect to be without the inflatable. Now there's an advantage because your elbows come into play. Now you can throw elbows and you can really get yourself flying through.
Extend the arms a little bit.
Extend the arms a little
Sounds
bit.
like a cage match,
Right.
WWE
It was
style.
a cage match. And surprisingly enough, everybody came in crying at different times, complaining about the exact game they were playing. I was like, you're literally having a cage fight and then complaining because someone jumped on you or hit you from behind or, hit an elbow. Nora said she got hit in my one adult front tooth. I got hit. She was very upset about it. Yeah. So Aaron informed them that based on her insurance, it was going to, if they would have to give her $11,000 if they knocked out that tooth. That's what she told me.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was a very specific number.
Yeah,
$11,000.
She knew that on top of her head. It was.
Yeah, she had it. They looked at her like she was crazy.
Yeah.
But those would be fun. My brother and I have not put them on because I know we would break them and actually injure ourselves. Like we would run into each other at full
Well, I'm wondering
speed.
how thick that plastic is because you're bumping into people, you're bumping into the ground, right? And it's got to be better than like a pool float because those things you look at them wrong and they like go down.
The girls did pop theirs yesterday twice. They have duct tape over them. They look the part.
Like a vinyl repair kit or something.
Yeah, they got like a vinyl repair kit.
That's gonna be like the next Top Golf, right? Like a Top Soccer. You like have a little court out there and just like have it like because you're not gonna all buy those things to have around your house. But if there's a place you could go and like do a thing, that kind of sounds like a cool idea.
I know. I mean, they've been around for a while. I know. Our kids did like a birthday party version of that one time.
Okay.
It might have been at like a field house or something like that. You rent the field. They give you the bubbles and all those things.
Do they watch you? I want the answer to be no here.
Yeah,
and it's Lancaster County, so it's possible.
I don't know, honestly.
I would like to attend something like that in an Amish-owned place where they would be like, it's your.
Well, they're not.
If you kill
Amish,
yourself,
but
it's okay. You know what I mean? You're on your own. Like I don't want.
Everyone has signed waivers.
I don't want any signed waivers. I want you to just let me go. Okay. Maybe we should buy them for. We could play at your house.
I was thinking about it. I was like, that is a. We always like talk about trying to have an activity, and then the insurance company gets involved, and so we can't. I'm like, well, there's you're pretty well protected.
Yeah, I think you're making a lot of assumptions.
Yeah. I would do it, but I do feel like you may be surprised. You'd want very bright lights and cameras so that people were accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I know there's at least a couple guys that would want to take a shot at me for some of the things I've done. Like a bid that I put them on that they had, was just not good, and I was like, "You're going to have to make it work. You don't need another piece of equipment." No, I'd get hit from behind. I think I'd get clipped a lot.
Take some shots, some undefended shots.
I'd take some undefended shots. I would.
Yeah. But there's the win of it. If the way I saw it being played, you got the hit.
Yeah.
But you bounce down, you bounce up. So it's like the person felt like they got their aggression out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an actual thing. I was like, it actually was
Ford,
a
I'll
cool
support
idea.
you if you
find it.
If you want to make a motion that Berg is going to have
Not seconded.
a company event, I will second it, and I don't know what Brian's going to do.
It doesn't matter at that point, right?
Right, we've already said he's going to call the insurance
He's
company.
going to call the insurance company.
He's going to call the
spoken,
insurance
so.
company.
I was out
Gonna have to find reinforcements.
insurance guy the other day, and we were
He's going to
doing
bring
something.
Gavin and Aiden.
Yeah, he's going to bring his team. He's bringing his squad. But I was out with the insurance guy, and someone was asking something. They're like, "Did you have fun anymore?" I was like, "Looked at the insurance guy. I was like, not since that guy's around. I can't."
That's funny.
He barred you from the fun.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to be talking about new people and new work.
Yes,
we haven't
started
done
there.
that a whole lot.
We started
so.
there, and
We do have there's a bunch of jobs that have started up now, 2 or 3 or 4. And then I've seen Deckard creating just one number after another. And we're sort of starting to get to that point that we were concerned about of when the switch went. All of a sudden there's be a bunch of work. Commercial's still lagging a little. And we think that, I honestly think that's market driven. I think that the commercial has been a little slow here with all the impacts of the financial issues. But we have a couple of those jobs coming online as well as we close out a couple of them. But there's a good amount of work out there. And right now we're trying to juggle and figure out how we get the equipment and people everywhere we need to be able to get the work done for the clients. So
yeah. It's like, it is a juggling act. I'm glad you said that because like the, trying to maintain that balance, right? Keep everything sort of in the air at the same time where you've got the right people doing the right things with the right resources, and not letting any of those kind of get caught in the middle or drop, especially this time of the year where we've already talked through it, some of the weather concerns and some of the start-stop delays that jobs can have at times. Yeah,
we've seen that a few times. I was out at a job last week, and Justin was doing a really nice job, but they were digging, and it was some soil. It was real rough. It was
peanut butter or like
yes. Well, it was everything. I mean, but it was hard pressed to call it soil. I mean, there was soil there, and there was also bricks and blocks and bottles, and it was just in the old days you could build on anything. Like they were just dump sites, and then they built stuff on them. And Justin's trying to dig through and figure out ways to create enough space that he can bridge it to come back up to set a structure. And once I was there, I didn't want to leave because I felt like I could help Justin. And I said, if you need me to just I'll be the laborer if you want me to, where I can help you hold the stick or, measure, whatever you want me to do. Cause I felt bad because I was like, this is just in his head. He had a spot he wanted to get to that day. And it sort of highlights the problem that you have this time of year where he had a really good morning, felt like he was really productive. And then he was like, okay, that means I can make a run at it the rest of the day to get this full run in. Went to the end to set it before he set the rest of the pipe. And all of a sudden, water came from everywhere in bad soil, and he's trying to pump it out. Yeah. And it was, it was just very telling of what happens this time of year and what can slow jobs down. And then I'm jumping around to another site, and it's a site where we're just trying to get going. And we just need to be able to get the permits and everything through. And that took a little longer than we wanted it to. There was another job, the money held it up in terms of people wanting the money actually physically in the bank before it started a commercial job. So it's the things the guys don't see of all the little things that make it that the job has to go. That's really the team's, one of the management team's hardest jobs is to put these in a position where they start at the right time. Because there's so many variables that are completely outside of our control that you don't really think about on a day-to-day basis, and definitely not once you're going. Because once you're going, now you're just, now you can just do the work. You don't have to deal with the paperwork as much. It's behind you.
Right.
So
yeah, a lot of external factors right now. Yeah. And some of it is market driven, like you said.
Yep.
And some of it is just the time of the year, for sure.
Well, and Tracy's been doing a great job as we onboard people, really trying to get a handle on what we need. And I don't like standing meetings. Like, you have to have them a little bit, but I don't like them. And I said to Tracy, in lieu of that, just, basically Tracy set a standing meeting that every Monday, just tell me if there's a problem we need to talk about, or if not, just give me the update. And if we need to talk, we can talk. And if we don't, we don't. And it's really been interesting to watch over the last maybe 5 weeks as we go from the point of we have to get people onboarded, and we're going to look for good culture fits, and we will teach you how to do this work. As we sort of, we preach that we want people who are willing to work and people who fit who we want to be as a company and want to be part of the team. And we'll take the lack of experience and use our team to be able to build that and train people with new skills. But as we get closer to the season, that number dwindles. And I have to say to Tracy, okay, you can talk to these guys and let's talk to them and get a feel for where they are and how soon they want to come on, if they're good culture fits. But you almost need to develop a bench of a roster, because the reality is I can't have all of them. What we need right now is somebody to run a dozer or an excavator, or somebody that's done pipe, or, you know what I mean? Any one of these things. Somebody specifically that can do the stuff we need in special projects with the septics and the residential in combination. And we need that specific thing. So now, yes, I need you to sift through, but you need to sift even more, because we have to find these guys first. If we get them, then we could bring more work on, and then we could bring on more people that we train, and it's a cycle. We do the same thing again. But it's a tricky part of her job where I say, we need 3 or 4 more people, but they're very specific people we need. And so it makes it a lot harder. A specific skill set. You're right. Not a specific person per se, but a specific skill set that I'm looking for. Because otherwise you put the whole team at risk because they're just not capable.
Right. Yeah. And it takes, again, both pieces. We like to find those guys who need the opportunity to grow, right? Somebody who's a little raw, maybe a little young, and put them in spots where they can learn and have success. But you also have to have somebody who can show them the way. And if we don't have enough people showing them the way and too many raw developing players, it's a recipe for a little bit of a mess, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it used to be like 80-20, like back in the day.
Mhm.
And now maybe 50-50 would be a tolerable, depending on the type of work. Again, like, you can dance around it because certain types of work maybe don't need to be 80-20, but, it just depends on the type of job. But anything over 50-50 is when you're going to probably have a challenge. So that's where it kind of gets to that balancing act of just the right, and that's the deep part. Sometimes I'll see different crews coming in and like, some people get to work with some different people on a certain job or a certain couple days and that kind of stuff, which is kind of neat that they get to see a little different take on certain things if they need to help out somewhere else.
Yeah, a lot of times those are the guys who get the most exposure, right? They get to see all the different facets of work that we do, and assuming it's not so technical that they can't be involved, they get a chance to do a lot of things that other people might not.
Right. Yeah. Something else too, and I want to make sure, for the guys that are listening, that I sort of talk about it is this, the cyclical nature of it and the way that it starts and then you burn through a project and then you go do another project. Right. And we've talked about it, that it plays to all of our desire to both be productive and see things done and see the benefit of our work while also having other opportunities to be able to go do something different. Right. That it's one of the things that I want to make sure everybody all of our guys that are out there that aren't at Longwood, right? Think about that. That's one of the struggles when you think about it. That's not at all related to the work, the people, anything else. It's actually related to the fact that when we said internally that we wanted to do jobs that were where we know, with people we know, doing something we know, there's little things that I never considered. And when I say we in this part, I mean like Ford and I never considered of what makes it a job, what we know, and little things that we didn't realize were duration. You know what I mean? Like inherently, I didn't think duration really made a difference, but as we've gotten into Longwood and being in the full length of this project, I realized it makes a big difference. It's because it doesn't change enough. There's not enough delta for the guys to feel it. And I know that even speaking for myself, like it becomes monotonous because it's the same project. And you're not somewhere else, so that's part of one of the things I'm trying to make sure we do this spring is get the guys a little bit of time where I move some people around and maintain enough consistency in the scheduling that everybody can continue to work and develop a coherence, but also a little bit of change to get guys out of there for the guys that I can. There's some guys that we need down there because they have all the knowledge and all the experience down there and they know. But the other pieces we're trying to rotate a little bit just for that reason, to create a little bit of newness for them and reinvigorate them, because that's part of it. As you come into the spring and you're reinvigorated because it's different, you get to start over, so I think that's important. And I think, that we realize it as a leadership team, both in how we plan going forward, but also how we work through the tail end of Longwood here. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. That's probably a good place to wrap it up, but it's a fun conversation because there's a lot happening and,
it gets repetitive because every year it's the same thing but different, right?
I was just going to say, it's not necessarily a new conversation or different than a conversation we've had other years in the spring, but it is always fun to talk about, in my opinion. So, thanks for joining us today, folks. We hope you got something from this, and we hope you come back for another episode.